Aloha and welcome to Supply Chain Training with Vessel. Thank you and mahalo for attending. We are excited to dig into this topic at hand with you and your team. Being born and raised in Hawaii, I have a vested interest in the success of manufacturing companies in my home state, especially since I grew up with most of these local brands. We spoke with Hawaii manufacturing companies like you to understand the unique challenges you face on a daily basis. Thank you for participating in our research. We really appreciate all your time and feedback, as it was important for us to connect with Hawaii companies first. The opportunity to work with your companies generated a lot of excitement for us to dig into this project. We believe this training will provide key insights to help your team improve over multiple supply chain areas. Our goal is to provide education to bring applicable next steps to your company to improve your processes and overall efficiencies. To better serve you through this training, we would love to identify topics you would like to learn more about through your feedback. Please leave a comment below, letting us know what we should dig into further. Mahalo.
Welcome to this education module on digital transformation and preparing for technology implementation. In this module, I'll outline some key points on both of these concepts, with the goal of giving you a few frameworks to use along the way in your technology journey. Digital transformation is a phrase that's really picked up traction in the past decade or so. Let's break down the term. Put simply, digital is referring to how organizations interact with itself internally or with its customers externally through a suite of technology. Transformation is often used to note that there is some work to be done in order for an organization to achieve a variety of desired outcomes from its use of technology, moving from point A, an analog state, to point B, a digital state. This caterpillar to butterfly transformation is generally centered around making more money, but it could be more than just that. It could be about supporting decision-making through data, through information flows, creating interoperable systems, fortifying security, improving customer experience, or launching new lines of business, or protecting existing business, complying with new industry standards, finding new ways to acquire customers, or the overall reduction of wasted effort. Technology can obviously make our lives easier when it comes to business, but it hinges on our ability to implement and support systems with our unique business needs. We have to get the teams and individuals using our ecosystems of technology correctly. It's a force multiplier for good and a frustrating nightmare of administrative burden if you haven't trained and supported your staff through a system implementation. For those of you who have gone through a bad implementation of software, you know there can be hesitancy when evaluating a new system or making a final decision to move forward and put a new piece of technology into your organization. Often overlooked and a common cause for implementation headaches are the lack of planning, the lack of communication, and the lack of expertise. It could just be one of these things, or likely a mixture of all three. The question we received most was, where do I start when it comes to digital transformation, and how do I make digital transformation simple? Additionally, what do I need to know to be successful implementing a critical new system like an ERP or a CRM system into my business? And finally, how do I get excited or get my team excited about being a part of this process? With those being the questions of Hawaiian manufacturers, we'll spend the remainder of this video touching on these topics. If you're feeling a bit lost on where to start with digital transformation, it's probably because the reality is setting in that your workforce has some sufficient gaps in their digital skill set, or that you don't have enough people or budget to take on a significant transformation project. Maybe it's mindset, and you have a culture of caution when it comes to digital transformation because you've had some failed installs, or technology was promised to fix problems, and when it was all said and done, things didn't get better. I want to normalize these challenges with you and just let you know that it's a consideration for all when approaching new technology. The only way to get through it is to face it head on and break down these silos, engage the culture, and hold firm that things must change. At the most basic level, I want you to do two things to start with when evaluating digital transformation in your company. This is the place I typically start from. 1, you got to develop a digital strategy. And 2, you have to assess the digital skills in your business. In the inventory management processes module, we touch on how critical it is to plan out your digital strategy within your organization. It's the intention of being proactive instead of reactive and making sure that you're taking on technology that is planned for rather than ending up with a pile of inoperable systems, databases, and hardware. This type of strategic thinking can be done in many ways. And like so many other industry buzzwords, you'll find that academics and corporations might have mostly overlapping definitions about what digital transformation is, but have wildly different approaches, frameworks, and methods for actually building out a strategy. We've experimented with a lot of different models, and one that we found to be straightforward is the Digital Transformation Playbook by David Rogers. If you're embarking on your journey, Rogers does an exceptional job simplifying the shifts in strategy as a business moves from analog processes and assumptions to digital ones. And his 5 domains of customer, competition, data, innovation, and value have made his work widely referenced and used in the industry. I hope you and your team explore this book further. If you aren't planning on reading a book, I have a few other approaches that might help you get started outlining your digital strategy. First, you could break down how technology could help you change processes, change business models, support data storage and security, or culture. Or you could look at digital strategy in terms of core business, your operations, and your growth drivers, things that you want to do in the future. Maybe you want to focus on just your customer experience when developing a digital transformation strategy. That's fine too. It might be a bit narrow, but you'll find yourself expanding the scope of it. It's a great place to start. The fact is, you can easily do some research and find a few modules out there. Do a Google search for images on digital transformation, and you'll get plenty of results. As a consulting firm in this space, Vessel has found that there are a lot of ways to define strategy. We whiteboard all the time and explore different approaches. The mistakes that many small and mid-sized businesses make is not picking a method and just carving out some time to build a few slides or a few pages that resembles a plan. I'm encouraging you to do that now. All right, so we talked about digital transformation. To continue on with this module, we want to spend some time around best practices of technology implementation. A quick recap of our inventory process module has some great information that we drove home with the idea of process mapping to understand the overall system, documenting the current technology being used in your organization, and writing out statements of system requirements that are key to informing your digital strategy. Then you'll be able to select systems, it'll help you communicate better on teams, and it will inform your implementation plans. But we have to get a bit more tactical and talk about 2 areas that organizations struggle with most when it comes to actually executing their digital strategy: change management and the actual deployment and implementation of technology. Let's talk about some best practices. Change management is one of the most overlooked aspects of implementing new technology. The idea of change management refers to the concept of preparing your workforce for changes to your daily processes. This often happens when you're altering some aspect of operations in the business. People deserve to know why things are changing, what is changing, and how things will be different for them and the business. Change management is a mindset that should be passed down to your team members to achieve buy-in and to successfully implement new technology. There are frameworks on focusing on change management to help you prepare your mindset and your team. One of the most popular frameworks are the 8 levels of change management, found in the book Leading Change by Jason Kotner. We suggest reading this book as well. Breaking down these 8 steps can bring insights to how you can prepare your workforce for change when it comes to implementing systems like ERP and CRM systems. Let's take a look at the 8 steps in Kotner's change management model. First, create urgency amongst your employees and encourage their participation. Gaining momentum and keeping it through your implementation will be critical. The key for this step is explaining your requirements to your team and getting their honest feedback. They're typically the people who are closest to the issues that arise. And if you're failing to have open discussions or encourage feedback from them and empower your team to be part of the change, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. Second, put a team together based on your available resources and necessary skill sets. But you must have a leader take ownership of the change because it will be critical for your team's momentum and their success. Third, create a clear vision and goals. Create a clear plan and strategies for you to achieve your desired outcome. Presenting an achievable picture to your team can make a world of difference, as it shows them what the end result should look like and what the company will look and feel like when things are implemented. Fourth, focus on communicating the vision for change within your organization. You're looking to gain full buy-in from your workforce and allow them to truly believe in the change that is being implemented. This is more than just one email. This is a consistent process throughout the implementation. Fifth, empower action by removing obstacles. Your team relies on you to remove obstacles from their path, especially when you're implementing technology. You should probably take inventory of what obstacles are currently lying in the way and think about what you're going to have to do differently in order to proactively remove those obstacles. Some of this could be around process, structures, management, policies. It could be a lack of reward structure in your organization. We want to make sure to create systems that recognize our workforce for hard work and provide them proper mentoring so that they can achieve their best results and their best outcomes. If you don't remove these barriers proactively, you're certainly going to struggle when it comes time for the heavy lifting. Which brings us to our 6th step, creating and enforcing short-term goals for your change. Some of your workforce may feel discouraged when working on implementing a new process or a new system. They might lose a sense of purpose or not feel a sense of accomplishment. Sometimes system implementation is pretty hard. So it's important to set short-term achievable goals for the workforce to enforce success and self-esteem. Recognizing these successes in your company will help to build morale, maintain momentum, and put you in a great position to achieve long-term goals. Once you've set some short-term goals and you begin accomplishing them, maintaining the momentum will be a key factor in achieving a successful implementation. Kotner's 7th step is not letting up, or better said, sustaining acceleration. As leadership, you have to ensure that your teams are staying on track and focused on the vision that you've set with them. To maintain momentum in your workplace, you should audit your successes and failures, consider some improvement strategies on how to fix it, whether it be communication or process, and then actually implement them. That, combined with calling out and congratulating short-term wins, should keep your team motivated for the long-term goal. Your last step in the change management model is to make things stick in the long run. What's the point in doing all of this work and investing all this time and all of these resources if we cannot reinforce the change that's being done and ensure that it's ingrained into the core values and our company culture? If you take your eye off the prize and you forget to continue to reinforce the processes that were implemented, the use of the systems and tools, and the new ways of working, your outcome is not going to match your vision. As you can see, change management is crucial to the success of implementing new technology in your organization. Understanding your strategy and preparing for change is absolutely critical. You have to bring your workforce into the fold with new business operations or opportunities to achieve their buy-in. If you're looking for another model outside of Kotner's 8 steps, we also strongly recommend that you explore ProSci's ADKAR model for change management, which is an industry-leading framework that includes an in-depth body of knowledge for managing change. ADKAR is an acronym for awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. And in a similar way of Kotner's change management model, ADKAR framework comes with a variety of tools and methods to ensure that your workforce feels engaged, understands what's changing and how, and knows how they support the change, and demonstrates their ability to execute the future state. So now that you have an understanding of change management as it pertains to digital transformation and implementation, let's take a look at best practices for implementing new technology. All right, so it's all fine and good to have a change strategy in place, but now we actually have to implement the system. And this will run in parallel. We've helped a number of organizations implement new technology like ERP systems and CRM systems. And regardless of the technology that you're implementing, a few things must hold up in order to be successful. First off, you have to have executive level buy-in. You have to have executive level support and engagement, because without it, you're starting without the support that you absolutely need to be successful, the decision-making arm. You also need a realistic plan. And the old adage is true. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. Technology implementation needs to be thoughtfully planned, scheduled, and have a little bit of buffer time to meet these timelines. You've got to have clear communication and project governance. This includes having regular meetings, holding teams accountable, talking to vendors and contractors, and ensuring that everyone is working together in order to execute the goal. Next, make sure to put time and attention on data migration. Bad data migrations can put a halt to your progress in a hurry. If you rush moving complex system to complex system without a clear path or understanding how to best migrate data from the old system to the new system, you're not going to be able to implement as soon as you'd like. And finally, don't skip on the training. Seriously, this one baffles me. If you're going to go through the process of implementing new systems without taking the time to train your staff on the most critical aspects of the system, like building user guides and manuals and documenting your business process. Sometimes, being in a tech-driven world, we overestimate how quickly our employees will come up to speed with using brand new systems and tools. And we rely on them to try to figure all this stuff out on the job. And then we wonder why the system isn't working as it was designed. This is the last mile of an implementation. Make sure to invest in training. All right, so I told you the 5 pitfalls. The next thing that you should do is make sure you have the right resources in order to help you with the implementation. You'll need to figure out how much of the work your team is willing to do versus how much you're going to outsource to experts. A lot of times, software comes with a standard implementation package, which means that the vendor or the manufacturer of the software is going to bring in an experienced team to help you implement it. But you might have the skill set to be able to implement some of these things yourself. Or you might have a third party, system implementers or integrators that have a deep knowledge of your industry that can advocate for you to ensure that you're getting speed to value on your installation. One thing to keep in mind if you're getting a third-party implementer to help you implement your software is it comes at a premium price. Depending on the size of your organization or the experience your organization has with a particular software solution like a CRM or an ERP system, this might be the right option for you. But again, you have to do your due diligence and make sure you find the right partnership. If you decide you don't want to work with external teams and decide to take these challenges of implementing internally, we suggest that you commit to proper planning. Of course, we want you to plan all the time. That's what this whole module is about, is creating strategies and being thoughtful about implementation. But if you're not going to use industry experts and you're going to lean on the individuals that you have in your organization, make sure that you've had the deep conversations with the vendors that you're looking at purchasing software from, and you know exactly what the most important aspects of an installation are to you. A good consultant can really help you mitigate some of the blind spots within an implementation. If you haven't done enough to plan, you'll find out the hard way in the middle of the install and waste time you likely don't have on fixing problems that you could have prevented. Here's a few questions you can ask prospective software company when you're trying to make a decision about what software to take on. Can you meet my top 5 functions that I need to have in my ERP system? Could you give me a demo of the top 5 functions and show me virtually how these functions would be set up and how I can use them? Do you typically have food manufacturers using your systems? What types of industries do you typically see purchasing your product? Can I get a free trial to test this out and see how we would use this program? What key insights can you offer me today to show me how to navigate your system and use it properly? Is there anything that I should know based on my unique needs? All right, in this module, we covered digital transformation approaches. We covered the importance of change management in successful technology implementations and gave you some tips and best practices around implementing new software. We hope this module provided you some confidence as well as some insights on how you might approach your digital strategy and your next install. In partnership with Innovate Hawaii, I'm Jake Blanchard with Vessel. Leave your comments below and let us know what information you'd like to learn in our next education module about digital transformation.
We really hope you found valuable insights within this training, and we're excited to hear your feedback. Our goal is to help improve Hawaii manufacturers' understanding of the supply chain. The more feedback we receive, the better we can provide meaningful connections and future ideas for how to service you and your teams. Please let us know what you thought through our survey Innovate Hawaii will send out over the next few weeks. Also, make sure to reach out to Wayne at Innovate Hawaii with any questions or concerns you may have. Thank you for attending, and mahalo.